Hi, it's Fakie Spaceman. Today we're going to look at some collections that are not primarily toys, but more decorative collectibles, knickknacks, whatever you want to call them. We're going to start in the 80s and move up to some more modern lines. Start with American Greetings had a line called Spellbinders, and it's a variety of fantasy creatures. Most interesting to me, of course, is this Pegasus and this unicorn, and they're on various pieces of merchandise. Here's a coffee cup with the unicorn. They have a frog friend who shows up on merchandise. There's a mermaid and a centaur boy and girl. I don't have any of those out today. So we'll just take a look at some of the stuff I have for them. There's some wall plaques. They're very faded. This is a magnet and basically the same thing as what's framed here, but you can see the color difference. So these were displayed for quite some time. Then about the same time, Enesco was doing a line called In Rainbow Forest, and that is these cute unicorns. So this is In Rainbow Forest. So you have the white unicorn with pastel rainbow mane and tail. And here's a baby. And here's the main unicorn, I guess, with her Pegasus friend. This Pegasus actually has been painted from the original color. You can kind of see a little of the lighter pastel brown there on the foreleg, but still really cute. The adult unicorn is named Dawn, and the Pegasus is named Dusky. So like dawn and dusk. Someone was very clever there. This is a coin bank. The figurines are dated 1986. Then for merchandise, also stuffed animals. So there's this plush version of Dusky the Pegasus. I also have the plush of Dawn. I'm not going to be able to show her today because she's in a box somewhere. But she has the hang tag on her that actually gives the names of Dawn and Dusky. So that's how I know who they are. But anyway, for the In Rainbow Forest plush ponies are dated 1983, earlier than the figurines, which are 86. So it looks like the plushies actually came first. And then this is not a decorative collectible brand, but it's worth mentioning here. There was this series of storybooks called Whisper the Winged Unicorn, and they're pretty much the most awesome thing ever. I just loved these things as a kid. They had some different illustrators and authors, but the reason Whisper is relevant at this time is because she also lives in Rainbow Forest. The collections are not connected at all, but there's definitely some similarity there in coloration and the fact that they both live in Rainbow Forest. So that's interesting. And the illustrations are just gorgeous. For example, just look at this unicorn. Isn't he fantastic? He's actually an old human wizard in disguise. I always was disappointed that he wasn't a character in his own right, but doesn't he just look amazing? And since we're talking about Whisper, here is the plush version I just recently got. She doesn't really look a lot like her book character. She's more of a generic horse form and plush, but she's cute. This one is unmarked, so I don't know anything about her history, but I thought she was pretty. There's a set of 3 in this style, and these are also unmarked, so probably just a lower quality decorative collectibles brand there. The details aren't quite as fine, but I think they're still pretty. We have this pair of unicorns from 1991 by Loomco, and I think the design and the flowers and the colors all come together very nicely, so they're pretty. Now getting more into the 90s, we have the Rainbow Dreams collection by Hamilton Collection, and there's a bunch of these. So this is more of my Rainbow Dreams collection. And they're just really pretty ponies. There's the clock, and that's very hard to find. I think it's really gorgeous. I got some of my little ponies in here too from a collection that I bought. And this is a recent find. I thought this was interesting because it's actually a fakie of Rainbow Dreams. So yes, decorative collectibles also have fakies. It's actually pretty good. This is another collection by Hamilton Collection of unicorns and fairy girls. I have 4 of them. Unfortunately, 3 of the 4 broke in shipment, so this is the only one that survived completely intact. I don't mind gluing things back together, but I'm not very good at it. If you have any suggestions for putting these back together, let me know. But gravity always seems to work against me. I don't know how to keep things in place while the glue is drying. I mean, they're still really pretty. I'll work with them. The Rainbow Dreams collection also had dragons, and I love dragons that are friends with ponies. I just found 2 of these. I have never seen the dragons before, and I've been collecting these for about 5 years. This was the first dragon. Now, the unfortunate thing with this dragon is that he has this froggy friend too, but it broke off in shipment. So again, another repair that I'm trying to figure out how to do. This is just a cheap figurine, but I thought she was pretty on a crystal base by Jenkins Enterprises. Now for a modern collection, we have these interesting ponies with beady red eyes. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think they're cute. They're fun. They're different. They're sold on Amazon. I found them under the brand names Ebros and YTC. And then this particular one that I found is marked Summit Collection. So apparently they're branded for some different places. Unicorn, pink and purple. She's gorgeous. Blue Pegasus. Really pretty. And getting back to In Rainbow Forest, I found a couple of these wall plaques. So there's the main unicorn, and here she is with a couple little angels, which is the first time I've seen human characters in this universe. This is another decorative brand from the 80s. This is by Wallaceberry. Now there's also a decorative collectibles company called Russberry, but I think they're 2 different places and not actually connected. But this is just a fun design for the unicorn and Pegasus. Very elegant. This is a ceramic or plaster thermometer with a unicorn built in, so that'll look good on my wall. And this is a new acquisition that I'm pretty excited about. This is from AliExpress or one of those shopping sites. I'm sure it's completely unlicensed from Hasbro, but it's package back art from the Happy Tales ponies, and it features Tabby prominently. And if you know anything about my history, you'll know that I am crazy about Tabby. She's my pony persona from way back in the 90s. So I have this hanging in my bedroom, and it's awesome. This is completely unrelated, but it's very cool. I got this at a flea market. It's a panel from a carousel. It's got this tiger on it, and it has these amazing teeth. But I think it's just such a fun piece and has so much history, and it's just really gorgeous. I love it. And on the topic of carousels, here's a die-cast toy carousel pony that I just got. Got the remains of a Kmart sticker from way back. I just got this. I think she's pretty. There's a whole bunch of them on the back there. And this one displays so nicely in the package, I'm just going to leave her that way. I'm not going to open her. These were a recent find for Spellbinders, but they're just little zipper pulls or attach them to whatever. This one, the bubble came off while being shipped, but that's okay. It's the same pose as this bigger figurine, so it's like mommy and baby, and that's super fun. The unicorn is still attached, but I think I'm gonna let her out too because the There's the unicorn with her little spots on her rump, which is a cute detail. And again, she's in the same pose as the larger figurine. Super cute. And this is just another Whisper book. And she finds this gorgeous purple unicorn named Crystal. And it turns out that Crystal is kind of a jerk, and she's mean to all of Whisper's friends. But she's very pretty. So she gets bonus points for that. I think that's how things work in the real world, right? Oh, she's crying. Anyway, just all of these books have really pretty pictures. I am in love. Getting back to Enesco then, they had another series of unicorns in the mid-80s. This one is from the birthday collection, so they would have one for each age, and they got gradually bigger over time. I just have number 4 out here right now. This style, they also did Christmas ones. There's with Santa Claus and elves and baby Jesus. Those are the main categories. There's some just with angels and flowers and butterflies, but they're cute. They have the sleepy closed eyes. Another brand from the 80s is Aldon, which is just a decorative collectibles brand. And they did this series of figurines. They're designed by an artist named Joan Berg Victor. And I think it's just a really pretty design. It's unicorns and Pegasi. There's a blue unicorn. I just got this one, and I don't know how it came to me in one piece because it was in a really flimsy box, not corrugated. I had one tiny piece of bubble wrap. The box was crushed in when I got it, and I was sure it would be in a million pieces, but it's just perfect. I don't know how that happened. This is clearly a take on one of the Aldon designs. It is not Aldon. It is by Spencer Gifts, 1985. I thought Spencer Gifts was primarily in the adult novelty gift category, but apparently they do just knick-knacky things too. Another collection from the 80s is by Lefton. They did unicorns and Pegasi. I have a couple of the Pegasi out here today. These are in the same pose, but this one is all white, and this one has some pastel colors in her mane and tail. And then we come to Hither and Yon by Willits. So Hither and Yon is the name of the collection and appears to be the name of the names of the 2 unicorns that appear in the series. So this is a music box with the girl unicorn, and she's with a fairy, but there's a number of these. They don't show up on eBay all that often, but I have a saved search and they show up occasionally, and they're really cute. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. Here's a peek at what I have up on my counter to clean up next, and they might be making an appearance in a future video. See you later, bye.